What up, my beautiful black people? Welcome to Black People Politics Network. I'm Mr. Red. Now, there's been a whole bunch of news flying across my feed today. And if you just skim through the headlines, you might miss how dangerous it really is. Now, we've had fun talking about these rapture people, but tonight, I'm going to walk you through a few stories that I think that you should know about. 4 big stories, each one showing how close this country is sliding towards authoritarianism, and we can't afford to look away. Let's strap in, let's get after it. Now let's start with Trump, because of course we do. This man has officially weaponized the Department of Justice, and the Supreme Court just signed off on it. Here's the deal. Since Watergate, presidents have kept their hands off the DOJ. If you remember correctly, Obama would always say that the Justice Department is doing its own investigations. Same thing that Biden said when he was in office. That was the guardrail. That was the line. So no president could say, go lock up my enemies like they do in some of these other countries. Every president has respected that line, Republican and Democrat alike, until now. Trump, he didn't just cross it. He stomped over with muddy boots like he was Rick James on Eddie Murphy's couch.
Fuck your couch, nigga!
He told his attorney general to indict James Comey. Now, if you don't remember who James Comey is, James Comey was the one that President Trump tried to get him to pledge loyalty and come meet him and shake his hand and do the meet and greet. And that happened in his first administration. And Comey tried to downplay it because it's not natural for the attorney generals to be in bed with the president. Now, the president can discuss certain things with them. That's on bounds. But the Department of Justice is supposed to be independent of the president so that it gives no appearance that the president is controlling the Department of Justice, because that would be very dangerous. Trump told his own attorney general to indict James Comey, and then boom, it just happened. No impartiality, no independence, just raw revenge politics. And why should we care? Because if Trump can do that to Comey, a former FBI director, then activist, then journalist, and then everyday people who speak out against him could be on his list. They use the justice system as a weapon to silence dissent. And let's be real, America has already done this to black folks in the past. From COINTELPRO spying on civil rights leaders to locking up protesters for standing up to police brutality. This country loves to test authoritarianism on us first. Trump's making it official now. So when he brags, there will be others. Believe him, because others mean anyone who gets in his way, or in the case of Jimmy Kimmel, anyone who hurts his feelings. Now let's move to Congress, because the circus just never ends there. I mean, they're out here canceling their trips because the government is about to shut down again. And the last time the government shut down, we did not want Democrats to budge, even though it was going to cause some pain. But this time, they need to stand fast. They need the pain to fall on these Republicans, because make no mistake about it, this is Republican shutdown if it happens. But I want you to think about the fact that the government could potentially shut down again. They can't even keep the lights on, but they still get paid. While you and I are going to have to worry about our paychecks. We're going to have to worry about going into work. We're going to have to worry about how long we're furloughed. When the government shut down, who feels it first? Black families, poor families, federal workers, military families, and kids who depend on school meals. That's if they even have that anymore. I heard that Trump got rid of that too. We are always the ones catching hell while they get to pack up and they get to go home early. It must be nice, huh? Yeah, when your bills are late, you get evicted or your lights get cut off. When their bills are late, they book a flight home and leave the mess behind that they created. As I've told you, That's not leadership. And the Republicans do not know how to govern. So this makes it even more dangerous. But they're going to blame it on Democrats, even though they have the House, they have the Senate, they have the presidency, and they got the Supreme Court. And they're going to blame it on Democrats. So I want you, when you hear that, you know that they're gaslighting you and they're trying to gaslight their base so that they take no blame. And some of these people actually believe that somehow the Democrats are to blame when they lost. And they do it over and over again. This playbook is their go-to playbook, and MAGA keeps falling for it because they want someone to be angry at, instead of being angry at the people who are in charge. And that is the GOP, that is the Republicans, and that is Donald Trump. These people are playing chicken with our livelihoods like it's some kind of damn sport. Next up, the UN, because even the world is tired of this nonsense. Now, Netanyahu showed up to speak, and the whole delegation of leaders from around the world, they just walked out. They didn't boo him, they didn't argue, they just up and left. And that's how little respect he has left after the slaughter in Gaza. And while America claps for this man in Congress, how they are willing to kiss the ring, bow the knee to a leader of a whole other country, the rest of the world sees him for what he is, a war criminal presiding over genocide. Now here's the part that really matters. Italy, you may or may not know, they didn't just march, but they shut down their whole country. And I intended to do a video on it. If you still want to see a quick video on that one, I'll do that. I'll try to get it out here soon. But workers walked out. Ports are closed. Trains stopped. Schools shut down. Italy said, if our government won't stop arming Israel, then we will. And that's resistance. That's what democracy in action looks like. They took everyday life and turned it into a protest. And I believe, and what I was going to say in the Italy video was, they have given us the blueprint for how we need to go forward if things get really bad. We not only need to boycott them and what we use, but we also need to boycott everything. I mean, shut it down, and then let the oligarchs of this country, I mean the businesses, I mean the corporations of America, I mean our overlords, let them put pressure on Trump. As long as they are capitulating, Trump will continue to do this stuff. Now, while they're protesting in Italy, here in America, we're silent, okay? Politicians are looking the other way because they are complicit in it. The media is downplaying it. Have you heard about this Italy thing? Some of you have, some of you haven't. Tax dollars are funding bombs while our communities starve. Italy showed us the blueprint. When the government refuses to act, the people have to. And that's how you fight for democracy. Not hashtags, not thoughts and prayers. You shut it down. You shut that shit down. And finally, let's talk about Trump's boy, Pete Hegseth. This dude is out here holding secret meetings with generals talking about warrior ethos and cracking down on grooming standards. But let me translate that for you, for any of y'all who haven't been in the military. Pete is out here trying to sniff out which generals are going to be loyal to Trump. A straight up loyalty test. And that's what authoritarians do. That's what dictators do. They figure out which soldiers salute them personally, not the Constitution. And the grooming standards? Don't get it twisted. That ain't about discipline. That's about pushing more black and brown folks out of the ranks. It's about making the military look whiter, more loyal, more like MAGA. Now, let's roast this clown. In my opinion, as a leader in the military of many years, Pete Hegseth is no leader. He's an alcoholic with no business being in the same room as real generals, real leaders. He's not even an equal. He's a Trump lackey trying to cosplay as one of them. And if this man showed up to a briefing, the only ethos he's bringing is a bottom shelf whiskey. Pete out here trying to look like Patton when he's really giving dollar store G.I. Joe. He's not a general, he's a prop. And somehow he's in rooms that shape the future of the military. And that future, he doesn't want to involve anyone that's going to go against Trump, that isn't going to take the orders when it's time to put the military against you and I. And you know who's the guardrails? Is us. We have always been the guardrails of democracy, and all of these moves have been to try to hold us back from speaking out. Plus, they just don't like us. This isn't just laughable at how stupid they are and how much they really hate America. It's dangerous because right now they're moving the agenda from our enemies across and overseas, which I've had many military briefings on, and they're moving it to a domestic agenda. And we know what that means. Trump wants to put more people, more troops, more soldiers in cities, because when these elections happen and when he goes ahead and tries to take power in 2028 by stopping the elections, he's going to want troops at all of the Democratic cities that would protest against him seizing authoritarian power. Now, if you're in the military, what are you going to do at that moment? Are you going to stand for the Constitution that you swore and protected to defend? Or are you going to let him do it? So here's the rundown. Trump has turned the DOJ into his personal hit squad, like this shit was 1930s Germany. Congress is playing games with our lives while cashing their checks. They don't want to give us our checks. They don't want us to do what we got to do, but they can't do their job and they're going to still get paid. Get it? Netanyahu gets walked out on while America keeps cutting checks. And Pete Hegseth is out here LARPing as a general while sniffing around for loyalty. Different stories, same theme. Authoritarianism is creeping in, and black folks will be the first to feel it if we don't stay alert. If you like me walking you through these headlines like this, let me know in the comments below, and maybe this will be a weekly thing. Until then, stay vigilant, stay engaged, stay revolutionary.